We just arrived here in what is left of downtown Pacific Palisades, and I am overwhelmed by the scale of loss. Many people are going to return to homes that were lost, and even more important, their community completely gone.
Our colleague Jonathan Vigliotti was on the ground for months reporting on last year's Palisades fire in Los Angeles. Now the disaster is the subject of his new book called Torched: How a City Was Left to Burn and the Olympic Rush to Rebuild L.A. He writes the tragedy could have been prevented. Now, scan that QR code on your screen to buy it today. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to see this book is out. You and I saw each other that first morning of the fire. We were in an area in the Palisades that was burning, and we did not see a single firefighter. 7,000 homes burned there. You witnessed many of them going down or going up in flames yourself. But in the book, you say it was preventable. But you and I spoke to the firefighters on the scene that day, the next day. They said that they faced hurricane-force winds, that nothing could have prevented that tragedy. You're saying that's not true in this book.
That's correct. And first, when I saw you that morning, I'll never forget your face, because it was a face of comfort amid so much chaos. Following this disaster, and as the flames were still consuming homes and lives, not just firefighters saying nothing could have been done, but also the mayor herself, Mayor Karen Bass, pointing fingers at climate change and the wind. I want to make it very clear, climate change amplifies this extreme weather, but this was a different kind of man-made disaster. As I report in my book, Torch, based on sourcing and scientists, this was a failure of imagination, to imagine the worst case scenario, to listen to more than a week of weather warnings that escalated in severity, culminating in 100-mile-per-hour gusts in the forecast. There was a lack of preparation. When the fire broke out, there was a failed response. You and I, as you mentioned, to top this off, we saw that firsthand. After I left you, my face of comfort, I spent 3 hours with my team, Christian Duran, my producer. We did not see any firefighters. We retreated down to the Palisades Presbyterian Church. I went live there for the evening news and then the Weather Channel. And I'll never forget this man, a resident that we had seen earlier with his own garden hose. We're talking like Home Depot.
Yeah.
Trying to fight the flames. He was running behind me, screaming, "Where are the firefighters?" I tracked him as he headed down towards Sunset Boulevard, a major artery. No firefighters, no police officers, bumper-to-bumper traffic. And you had Good Samaritans that were outside guiding traffic. I was talking to my father about this over the weekend because he asked how many homes were lost. 16,000 structures, many of them homes, across two fires. The Palisades fire and, of course, the Eaton fire in Altadena. 31 lives lost. Now think about the setting. Los Angeles.
Right.
The wildfire capital of the country, the second largest city in the country. We can't be blaming climate change here alone. We have to adapt, especially as we have our local leaders urging people to rush back to rebuild. Those two things don't connect to me. I'm not great at math, but I try to add this up. When you say there was nothing that could have been done, this is climate change. We know that the winds are going to continue. Fire is going to continue. We're talking about the West. We know that's going to happen. How can you then, in good conscience, say, come back and rebuild?
Right.
The reality is this was preventable. We can rebuild in ways where communities are safe. And as the book explores, unfortunately, that is not what's happening. And this sounds like opinion. My opinion is drawn from sourcing, but also fire experts who spent weeks on the ground assessing the footprint of this fire. And they make it very clear, while some homes may have been lost, maybe even a neighborhood or two, there is no excuse for entire zip codes to be erased.
Absolutely. Well, I want to pick up on something that you said, because you mentioned Mayor Karen Bass, who is running for re-election right now. We reached out to her, her office. They said this: the city is absolutely better prepared because of Mayor Bass's leadership. She continues to lead investment and reform in the fire department, including new leadership and pre-deployment protocols. Of course, she was mayor during this time. What's your reaction to that? How is the handling of the wildfires, maybe going to impact her re-election bid?
Well, I'm glad she responded to you. I should say, as part of this reporting, over the course of 6+ months, I reached out more than a dozen times, and I did something that I usually don't do as a journalist. I started to present my findings because I wasn't getting a response from her office, and I thought it was very important for her to be aware of the reporting. At no point did she get back to me. I think that what happened during those fires is now coming back to play a critical role in this campaign season. We see someone like Spencer Pratt. Where did he come from? His campaign materialized because he lost his home, his parents lost their home, and he was hearing the same kinds of stories. He's been very public about this.
And he's running on it.
How there was nothing that could be done.
Yeah.
And you talk about the fire department, the fire chief was fired during all of this. As I report in this book, a lot of fingers being pointed directly at the mayor herself.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you report in the book and that many of us knew is that Mayor Bass was in Ghana at the time of the fires, and she did not tell people, or the public at least, that she was out of the county.
That's correct. And we all learned that she was in Ghana as the fire started. But back when she decided to take that trip, it was unknown because she did not publicize it in a meaningful way for people to know, including those under her chain of command.
Jonathan Vigliotti, thank you so much for your reporting. Torched is on sale right now.